There's a deeper problem going on in the American society that nobody is talking about. Because of the economic uncertainties right now in the market, a lot of people are having a hard time right now finding a job, and some people are getting laid off by their companies due to downsizing. But amidst the struggle, nobody is struggling as bad as older Americans over the age of 55 trying to find work. Age discrimination in our society is a real thing, and we see it in the stats. The statistics show that older Americans, especially older women, receive callbacks way less than their younger peers looking for a job. And that number goes as high as 50%. So just to put it into context, for every 2 callbacks a younger worker gets from a potential employer, an older woman worker only gets 1. The issue with the job market is far from being the only issue older American workers face. Almost 2/3 of older Americans say that they face some type of age discrimination at work from either their colleagues or their employers. At the end, you're gonna see some more shocking cases in this video of this 96-year-old getting fired just because the manager doesn't think he's working hard and working fast enough. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. I hope the manager really feels ashamed of himself, because is that the way you want to be treated when you get older? Guys, this isn't okay. This isn't how we should treat our oldest and wisest members in our society. And this is a sign that something is deeply, deeply wrong with our society.
Hi everybody, Madge here. I have a question for all you TikTokers over 50, well, even over 40. Let's split the difference, 45. If anybody has lost their job during COVID, do you kind of wonder how we're ever going to get a job back? I mean, I have been over 50 for a few years now, and it's been hard enough getting a job when there's not a pandemic. It's a fact. There's age discrimination, especially with women. So I want to know if anybody else is having the same trouble. Yeah, sure, we can all go run out and get a retail job at $30,000, $40,000 less a year than what we were making. But that's not going to really help unless, you want to help us out with food stamps or something. But let me know in the comments if anybody else is having this problem and you wonder how you're ever going to get a job again.
So, lots of layoffs, me included, this week. Well, not this week. I was laid off a couple of weeks ago, but everybody knows now, so I can be public about it. It's important to remember that the numbers that they're showing you is like a small amount of their actual workforce. Like AWS lifted 15,000 employees. I don't know how many total employees they have, but that's not a big number. The original reason that they said that they laid off these employees is that they needed the cash to buy AI chips at that moment so that they could use those chips for future use. Now, I don't know if AWS is cash strapped. That seems like a problem. You can't buy the stuff you want to buy. I mean, just wait till it goes on sale, right? Or maybe it's, I've always never loved the layoff situation because it always seems like a money grab by the corporation, by upper management to get some number so that they can get a bonus or a profit some other way. So get rid of layoffs.
Watch me as I pack my desk after just getting laid off after 10 years. That sentence doesn't make sense. After just getting laid off after working here for 10 years. That's good enough. I have 10 years worth of shit on this desk. Maybe I should have taken the box that they offered me. I'm taking my laptop case because this is mine. Even though I don't have a laptop at home that this fits. And my keyboard. Oh my god, I have so much shit. Jesus Christ. So much stuff. Fucking curling irons. I have curling irons in here. Fucking tuna fish. I'm gonna need a fucking U-Haul. I forget my skippity toilet. I was going to leave that plant, but that plant was given to me by my ex-boss's wife. He passed away unexpectedly, and she left it to me because I used to always take care of it, and I can't leave it. I have to take it. Why do I have so many cans of tuna? I didn't realize my tea kettle still had water in it. Oops. So I'll just put that like that. I packed it up and threw it on that chair. I'm done. This is like, I don't know, there's nothing else really. There's my laptop, cell phone. I think I grabbed everything that's important. That body lotion could stay there. I didn't really care for it. After 10 years, I'm out. There you go, buddy. I want to document how I feel, but I'm just kind of numb right now. I'm a person that when a problem comes up, I go into like immediate problem solving mode. So I'm kind of numb. It hasn't quite hit me yet. I don't think it's hit me yet. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm very much, I accept it. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I can't do anything about it. The only thing I can do is take care of myself. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to accept it and then figure out where I'm going to go from here. I got 2 months pay and then I'm eligible, they say, for unemployment because it wasn't a performance thing. It was a restructuring thing, blah, blah, blah. And now I don't know how I feel. I'm still kind of in shock. I'm hurt. I feel hurt. But like, I don't know, like this is, in my mind, it's like this is just one of those things that happen in life, you know? Life is full of ups and downs, and I've had so many ups and downs, and I always bounce back. One thing I've learned is to not give up, like just keep going. Just keep going. Maybe I'm just being stupidly optimistic right now. I don't know. Who the hell knows? But I'm a survivor. I'll work multiple goddamn jobs if I have to, because that's just the person that I am. The one good thing about having been someone that's come from literally nothing, who's been homeless, who has lost everything, having been someone like that is knowing that I can do it again. I have done it. I built my life up from literally nothing. I'm a fighter. I'm a fucking fighter. I will go down fighting at all times. One thing I will say that I think I mentioned it while I was attempting to pack up my fucking desk, is that I haven't been happy there for such a long time. I was bored, basically. I've mentioned it before. I was bored. I wanted to be challenged, and I asked for years, like, I want to learn how to do more, and nothing. I got nothing. Like, how do you get rid of an employee who's begging to do more, like begging to learn more, who's smart? I don't know. That's okay. It's just really frustrating in that sense, because it's like, it's frustrating to not have been able to fulfill my potential. Maybe I should have been more, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do maybe the shoulda, woulda, coulda. This is the situation that I find myself in at this moment, and from here on out, we'll figure it out, you know? But it's just really annoying.
Well, how about this? The employees actually strike back and tell Dell Technologies what they can do with the return to office mandate. And there's so much or so little good news for Gen X, corporate Gen Xers. I think this actually qualifies. A couple people sent me this story, which I'll post here. You can see the headline. Almost half of Dell's full-time workforce has rejected the company's return to office policy. And for context, I think Dell's got about 120,000 employees, so that's 60,000 of them told Dell that they're going to remain remote. They don't want to come back to the office. And you think maybe that's not that big of a deal, but if you would have saw one of my earlier videos where I talked about Dell's return to office policy, basically they want you in the office 3 days a week, and they've got a color-coded system that the chief operating officer is actually reviewing. And if you choose not to come back to the office, or in this case, many of the employees were given the option if they want to stay remote, they forfeit one, they're no longer eligible for promotions. They're not eligible for applying for any other positions within Dell, and they're not eligible for any raises. I don't know how many raises they were actually giving, but basically they've stopped their career at Dell, and 60,000 people, instead of going back to the office, basically said, nope, we're going to stick with remote. So, I think Dell's backed themselves into a corner here. That's probably some really good people that are going to be ineligible to do any movement. So I'm going to be super curious to see where this goes. But it just tells you the current state that if this is a victory for employees, I'm not sure it is, because they're forfeiting any potential career movement. But again, I thought it was super telling of, all these employers want people back, and employees are saying, no, we want balance. We want quality of life. So again, if this is you still in corporate and you're part of Dell, congrats. I've heard from a few of you that were there, basically saying, enough is enough. But for the rest of you that are still fighting that fight, hey, there are options. And if you're curious about life outside of corporate, what I'm telling people, just join our free community. We've got almost 500 people. I think more than 400 plus have actually come from TikTok. So
You can find that link in my bio. In the link tree, it'll be the top link just to join the community. It's free. You get to network, learn from others. I'd say half of them have already left corporate and have pursued something post, and the others still in corporate looking for, their what's next as we are losing power here. So anyway, have a great weekend. Thanks.
So today, me along with 31 more people, and they have been laying off for a few years now. We're told that as of July the 24th, we will no longer have a job. That leaves about 7 people, I think, on our side anyway. And that's okay. I mean, what can you do? And before anybody says it's Trump's fault, no, this was going on way before Trump come into office. My company has switched basically what people would call AI. The problem is my age and being able to get out and find another job. I'm not old enough for Social Security, but I'm too old for people to want to hire me because they know that I'm, close to retirement age, and they don't really want to go through the joys of training someone. And so I've got a dilemma that I'm worried because I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to look for a job, but that doesn't mean I'll get one, and I'm really worried about that. Crying is not going to help. I do a lot of praying because there's got to be something better out there that's coming my way. I surely can't be done my hands at this point because I have 2 grandchildren that I'm raising, and it takes money. And I still own my home, so it's tough times for everybody. Some not as tough as others. There are some people still at my job that gets to go to their job tomorrow. Well, I do too. I don't work tomorrow, but they get to go to their job after I'm gone on the 24th. I'm trying to rack my brain on what I could get paid to do that would work out for me. Maybe I should be one of those professional protesters. But anyway, things are not going great right now. There's no point in you being in the comments and being nasty. It's just a hard time right now. Everybody have the day they deserve.
I got laid off December 5th. And this job market is insane. It's absolutely insane. And I'm also over 50. So it is so scary. So scary. You think that you have amazing opportunities, and then they get a cheaper candidate. And there's got to be like a line that you draw when you know your worth. And then there's got to be a line that you draw when you know you could learn. And I feel like the market price that I'm at right now makes sense. I'm in sales for 15 years. I was a teacher for over 13 years. It is so scary. So scary. And so I'm just asking for a high five, wishing me luck. I don't know. It's frustrating, scary, and I did not ever expect this to happen. But the more that I'm reading people hitting 3 or 4 or 5 layoffs in this market, it's scary. On top of everything else going on in the world, it's just a scary time.
No one ever tells you about losing your job after 50. Well, job security, out the door. You can get laid off at any time. I did. And I'm going to tell you, at first I was jumping for joy that I got laid off because it was winter. But then it followed by missing my friends. But more than anything, by the time I attempted to start looking for work, oh my God, you were faced with, you're too old, you're overqualified, they want you to work more than 40 hours per week. And remember, your wages is not going to be the same. Most people stay in their 9-to-5s because of job security and also having like benefits and stuff. But do you know, having a job or not, people still goes to the dentist, people still buy medication, people still goes for massage. So however, after putting on my big girl panties and I decided I'm going to hit the pavement, and I realize people are using words like overqualify and all these things, and getting to realize, oh my God, like I have to ask permission for vacation. I have no paid sick days because now it's the new reality. And with the economy the way it is, I decided I am going to pivot. So I pivoted into the world of digital marketing, digital and affiliate marketing. Well, after some trials and some failures, I decided I am not giving up on myself. I will keep educating myself until I find something that I can fully believe in. And hello, I have arrived. So, I want to share with you about a program that's done for you. A lot of programs are saying it's done for you and you have to still go figure out your stuff, or you have to pay for them to help you set up stuff. I have found a program that is setting up my stuff for free, and the community. I always want to be in a community that is uplifting and sharing and all of that. And I have found a community. And I also always wanted to have something backup stuff, right? More than what the program is. I do not have to show my face if I don't want to. I do not have to resell the program if I don't want to. There is 25 or 26 streams of income that I can pick something and get involved in. There is even one that is so exciting to me, is that after looking at it, I realized at my age, I am fully needed. I am needed in the UGC community. So, but more than anything, just go to my link in my stand store and scroll down, and I have something that is free. You can begin there. Jump into that. Just go look at the freebie and see what is possible for you and for me. I will talk to you soon. I'm Colleen Chinapu. Bye-bye.
Do you know what's a real thing is ageism? And I'm experiencing it now. When you're trying to further your life and your career, especially a little late in the game, you see people when they talk to you and you know that they are not going to further any discussion with you because they have sized you up because of the way you look and your age. They're not considering all the experience you've had, everything you've been through. In some ways, I'm the best person I've ever been right now. I'm the smartest I've ever been. I know the most. I've experienced the most. I can contribute the most. And yet you don't want to hire me, because I have gray hair, or maybe I have an extra chin, whatever that is. And I find that so funny because you're missing out on the best that's out there. The people that know so much, that have been through so much. So I'll keep going. I won't stop because someone out there will believe that I'm the right person for them. But for those of you that are experiencing ageism, I know it's a real thing. I'm sorry, I really am. I don't understand why our society thinks that way, but just keep going because someone will find us and someone will believe in what we can contribute. Thanks.
Gen Z are obsessed with age, but like in the wrong way. There's this trend online of millennials saying we look so good for our age and that we look so young. I don't think that we look young. I just think we look younger than our parents that are our age, and then Gen Z looks our age, a lot of them. My little brother is 13 years younger than me, and we look the same exact age. It leads me to start questioning, why do they look so much older than we did when we were 22, 23, 24? Then it gets to the comments. They are online calling people unc and auntie who are 30. Or they're like, you age so well. And the person will be 32. Or somebody be like, I turned 34 today. Like, oh my God, you such an unc. You look great for 32. I'm like, do you guys not know how old people are supposed to look? I'm 40. I was born in 1985. And I feel like everybody who's my age in my friend group looks like me. Everybody between the age of 30 and 40, you don't really change between 30 and 40 years old. But in their minds, if you're 30, you're 50, and then 40 is the new 70, apparently. I don't get it. If I could leave with anything, I have two Gen Z brothers, and I always tell them this. You're 23 today, but you're about to be 30. And then when you turn 30, you're about to be 40. Your life is gonna come very fast. So stop thinking so much about what me and my generation are doing. When we were your age, we didn't think at all about you. And you know why we didn't? It's because our entire lives was a series of technological advances. Between gaming, we went from Sega, Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Sega CD, Dreamcast, Nintendo 64, PlayStation, yada yada yada. Then we went from the flip phone, the Sidekick, the camera phone, the first iPhone, MP3 player, anti-shock CD player, Walkman, all to the internet, social media. That's what we have. So our whole lives, we've always had to think about what's coming next. We never thought about what the other generation was doing or what the younger generation was doing. But you guys care a lot about what we're doing. Focus on your lives. You guys got a lot of life to live. You guys have an easier world to live in a lot of different ways. It's a more fucked up world. But yeah, stop being so obsessed with age. People who are 27 to 30 aren't old. Have a good day.
Why is ageism allowed? There's so many rules and laws saying it's not okay to discriminate on age, yet it's a widely known fact and a pretty open secret that companies can decide whoever the hell they want to hire. And the best way that they phrase it is a culture fit, right? Like if I have a culture of a bunch of millennials and Gen Z people working here, do you think it's appropriate for us to go out and hire a bunch of boomers? No, I can just chalk it up to culture fit. So this idea of is it not allowed? Sure. These are one of the laws that on paper says, no, you're not allowed to discriminate. But in real life happens all the time because we self-select who we hang out with. And corporations are just a mirroring of that. And the argument that a 40-year-old person has more experience than the 20-year-old person is also factually untrue. In many, many career paths, namely digital marketing and social media marketing, for instance, people with new experiences, with all the new platforms, with all the hottest rages and trends and understanding all of the new things going on, actually have a massive advantage compared to people who are 50 years in the marketing industry. You see what I mean? Today's world is not what it used to be. So how is the best way to prevent and guard yourself from ageism? Here's my suggestion. Make sure that you are independently wealthy so that when you do decide to work, you're not reliant on your job for a meal, but you can do it because you genuinely have a skill set and you can set up a business in that field and then hire other people to work for you, right? So this is the whole idea of entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is a great place where a lot of people who fall outside of the mainstream culture, the mainstream basic profile that all these companies are looking for, if you're not that person because your personality is too quirky or you're not the exact culture fit, you don't like rock climbing and you're not in your mid-20s with no family life to go back to, then you actually have another route to run your business and do your thing, which is entrepreneurship. So that is the solution for a lot of people who don't want to just be reliant on the corporate machine and need a job to need a job. The only way to not need a job is to escape the rat race, which is why the rat race is to be escaped at all costs if you genuinely don't ever want to be laid off again in your life.
I can't believe I'm saying this, and I wouldn't have believed it until recently. But here's why getting laid off may be the best thing that ever happened to you. If you've been laid off recently, or you fear that you might be, especially if you're over 50, you may believe that ageism has something to do with it. I know that I retired 5 years ago, and the last 10 years of my career, I was always fearful that I'd be laid off for a younger person who would make less. But a lot of the fear that we feel is because we've been taught that you have to have a job, get promoted, get elevated in that job, save for retirement, and that's the way this whole thing works. It's all dependent upon a 9-to-5 job. But I've discovered in the last several years that this is no longer the case. I don't have to be fearful because there are other options. Technology is opening the door and social media is opening the door for me to make as much money as I want. I spent over 2 years looking at various forms of digital marketing, which is a wonderful avenue. And depending on what you want to get out of it and what your skill set is, there are various forms that'll work really well for you. But at my age, I needed something really simple. I needed something low cost because I didn't want to spend $500 to $1,000 on a program and try and sell it. I didn't want to do Etsy, Pinterest, any of those kind of things. So I needed something really simple and low cost, but that would still produce the amount of money that I wanted to earn. The side hustle that I found would work really well for you, especially if you've been laid off or you fear that you might be. It's a great way of protecting your financial future by working a couple hours a day. What I'm offering you is a legit business opportunity, something that'll remove the fear and allow you to take control rather than depending upon your 9-to-5 job. I know from personal experience that a lot of the fear that you're feeling is because you lack control over your finances. The best way to conquer that fear is to take action. The first step, drop an emoji into the comments. I'll shoot you off the information about this legit business opportunity. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
My husband and I are in our 60s, and starting over was never part of the plan. I lost my 35-year career at 61, and my husband is still climbing roofs at 63. And you know, ageism is real. I applied for jobs, but all I ever got was the same HR email, "We've selected another candidate," which we all know means you're too old and you're too expensive. And that's a horrible feeling, to work your whole life and suddenly be treated like you don't have value anymore. We didn't have enough saved, and we didn't have a backup plan. And the worry, it hits you a lot different when you're in your 50s and 60s. But digital marketing became our chance to change our future together. And it's a way that doesn't care about your age or whether or not you have a degree or your background, just your willingness to learn. And it's given me a real way to create income and start building retirement again, and to get my husband off that roof. So if you're over 50 and scared about retirement too, just comment info and I'll share with you what we found. No pressure, just options and information.
Another day in corporate America. I woke up this morning to rumors of massive layoffs at my company. I'm 55. I've been in this industry for 27 years. And I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I'm just waiting to see, is the hammer gonna fall? Is it gonna hit me? I don't know. If you guys are in the same boat, please let me know. Or if you're in the same, age range, what do you do when you're too old to start another industry or, too young to retire?
Manager fires the 96-year-old worker. Customers take action. A 96-year-old man named Charles had been working at the local supermarket for over 30 years. All the customers and his co-workers adored him. But everything changed when the local supermarket hired a new manager. The manager had only been there for a couple of weeks when he began to notice the 96-year-old. Because Charles was elderly, he would work a little bit slower than the other co-workers. The manager noticed this and decided to call Charles into his office. He gave Charles a warning and said that if he doesn't work faster, that he would get fired. But because Charles was 96 years old, he was not able to work as fast as everyone else. So because of this, the manager fired him. Charles was very loved by his customers and his co-workers. They even threw a 96-year-old birthday party for him. And when they found out the news that Charles had been fired, they immediately went into action. His customers and co-workers created a GoFundMe to raise money for Charles. They raised over $100,000 for him to comfortably retire. Not only that, they got over 200 signatures for a petition to give to the manager for him to be rehired. However, Charles turned down the opportunity and did not want to go back to work.
Hearing about stuff like this just absolutely shocks me to my core and makes me really angry. Because what type of people, what type of managers treat a 96-year-old this way? I mean, this man has been through so much in his life. He's been through 2 world wars just to be treated this way by a manager? I don't think so. This isn't appropriate. We should really start respecting our elders more as a society. Secondly, why is this man still working? He should be long retired by now. This is a sign that something is deeply wrong with the society when you have a 96-year-old packing bags, when he should be enjoying the fruit of his labor and be spending time with his grandkids and even great-grandkids. I don't know what's going on, but I'm glad people raised enough money for him to retire, because it just isn't right for him to be packing bags at his age, 96. I mean, how many people do you know live to be 96? I really want this man to live to be more than 100 years old. So kudos to the people who donated money, who stood up for this person.